Thanks for watching this portion of Garage Logic today on our YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. And also thanks to our friends at Everest Men's Health for sponsoring this. Go to everestmenshealth.com today to see if they can help you with better energy and better health. And catch the Garage Logic podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
We've been saying on this show for years. Jason, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I love your work.
Thank you.
And you're going to be in town tomorrow night with Kendall Qualls on behalf of Kendall's group called Take Charge Minnesota. And you'll be with him between 7 and 9 p.m. at the Marriott Minneapolis Southwest. And I imagine you're on a tight schedule and have to get on a plane one of these minutes and get out here.
Sure, I'm going to be flying in tomorrow morning, so I should be there in plenty of time, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Will you, what's your latest book? Is it The Black Boom, or doesn't that come out till January of 22?
That'll be out in January. My most recent published book is Maverick, a biography of the economist Thomas Sowell.
Yeah, I'm another great fan of his. Will you please give us a brief description or your thinking behind Please Stop Helping Us, How Liberals Make It Harder for Blacks to Succeed? That was a 2014 book of yours.
Sure. The idea behind that book was to take a look at a lot of the programs that have been put in place, particularly since the 1960s, to help the black underclass. So we're talking about the Great Society programs under Lyndon Johnson, and that book came out around the 50th anniversary of the Great Society and the War on Poverty. And so I just wanted to look back at, see what has worked and what hasn't worked and why. And what I found is that a lot of the programs that had been intended to help blacks hadn't worked out that way. And in many cases, I think had retarded the advancement of blacks when you compare what happened in the 70s and 80s to what had been going on in, say, the 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm. I contend, Jason, that what's happening particularly in the schools is that children of color are being made less than, not as much as expected of them. I think it's insidious.
Well, I wrote a column recently referencing Condoleezza Rice's appearance on The View,
right.
Where she talked about sort of the mindset of her upbringing in the Deep South during Jim Crow, mm-hmm. and how her parents had said to her, we expect you to succeed. You don't live in a perfect world. We don't expect racism to ever go away completely, but that's no excuse for you not to try hard and to succeed. And I sort of contrasted that mindset with what kids are being told today, particularly black kids, mm-hmm. which is that, racism is oppressive, this country is evil, the tests are racist, the teachers are racist, and if you don't get ahead, it's not your fault because everything is stacked against you. And when you send a kid out the door with that mindset, it's going to affect how hard they try in school and, of course, the results that we get.
You're a Buffalo, New York guy. What kind of messages were you hearing as a kid?
Oh, I was certainly raised in the Condi Rice tradition there when it came to my parents.
Right.
They expected us to try hard. They expected us to succeed. They too were products of the Jim Crow South, both of my parents. And so, but no, it wasn't an excuse. I was never told that you can't get ahead in this country. I was told there are opportunities out there, and my job was to take advantage of them.
What do you think of critical race theory being taught in schools?
Oh, I think it's a travesty, and I'm so happy. It seems that people that who are complaining at these school board meetings seem to have taken that mindset into the voting booth with them this week, and that was very encouraging to see. I just think it's not only that I have a problem with the ideology itself, mm-hmm. But the idea that we would teach this stuff to our kids. Teach them to obsess over racial and ethnic differences seems to me just so counterproductive. I mean, we have this increasingly diverse society. The fastest growing groups are Asians and Hispanics. And the idea that you would teach these children to focus on their racial differences, mm-hmm. I mean, my goodness, what could go wrong?
Mm-hmm. Well, give us a sneak preview of the new book coming out in January called The Black Boom. You've seen some tremendous progress.
Right. Well, that book is really an assessment of the inequality trends that we saw prior to the pandemic. And I thought there was a story out there that didn't get a lot of attention, and that is that we saw a shrinking of racial inequality under Trump prior to the pandemic in terms of income gains for blacks, in terms of blacks leaving poverty. And it just didn't get the attention it deserved, I think, because the press was so dead set against Trump and they didn't want to give him credit for anything. But we saw a lot of shrinkage in social inequality taking place prior to the pandemic, and I think it had a lot to do with the pro-growth policies that had been put in place by the administration. And so I just wanted to tell that story. The lowest income blacks saw their wages rising at faster rates than their bosses. We saw blacks leaving poverty at unprecedented rates. We saw unemployment rates lower than they'd ever been. And this was a good news story that I think deserved more attention. So that's what I try and do in the book.
Have you previously met Kendall Qualls?
I have not.
You will find him a man after your own heart.
Okay, well, I am looking forward to it.
I think he would find you after his own heart. And again, that's tomorrow night, November 5 at the Marriott Minneapolis Southwest. I understand you must leave us, but I'm so thrilled to have finally met you, even over the phone. I enjoy reading your material every time I see you in the Wall Street Journal. And I'm fated to think that we share a lot of sentiments together.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Jason, really quick before you go, being a Buffalo guy and me being an adopted member of the Bills Mafia, do you like the Bills' chances to cover against Jacksonville this weekend?
Yes, I like the Bills. This team, I like them every week, frankly.
Yeah, they're a great team.
Fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Tomorrow
Serge.
night.
That was nice.